Have you ever wondered how different civilizations throughout history perceived solar eclipses? Today, we embark on an epic quest into the shadows of time, delving deep into the untold stories of these celestial phenomena. So sit back, relax, and join us as we journey into the shadow of the moon. But before we dive in, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications, so you never miss an episode of our fascinating insights into our universe. Now let's set course for our first destination, the cradle of civilization, Mesopotamia. In the cradle of civilization, the Mesopotamians, a solar eclipse was seen as a portent of doom for the reigning king. Fearful of this celestial event and its implications, they came up with an ingenious yet chilling solution. They would appoint a substitute king, a man who would step into the shoes of the monarch and bear the brunt of the heavenly wrath. This substitute king was treated with all the pomp and grandeur befitting royalty, but this crowning glory was short-lived. Once the eclipse had passed, the substitute king was executed, a grim sacrifice to ward off the perceived ill omen. This chilling practice ensured the real king's safety, but at a heavy price. Who knew that the shadow of the moon could cast such a long and deadly shadow over a civilization? If you enjoyed this fascinating tale and want more, don't forget to subscribe for more intriguing stories of eclipses throughout history. Now let's travel to 12th century England, where a solar eclipse was seen as an ominous sign for King Henry I. In the summer of August 2, 1133, the skies darkened midday and a solar eclipse took place. This event was widely regarded as a foreboding omen, particularly for the reigning monarch King Henry I. His eventual death later in the year only served to strengthen this belief, as people began to connect the celestial event with the demise of their king. This perceived link between the eclipse and the king's death fostered a sense of fear and superstition among the populace. An eclipse was no longer just a rare astronomical occurrence, but a harbinger of doom, a predictor of death, and a symbol of divine displeasure. The eclipse's timing with the king's death led many to believe in the predictive power of these celestial events. From England we move to the land of Vikings, where a giant wolf was believed to chase the sun. The Vikings, fierce and courageous as they were, held their own unique interpretation of solar eclipses. They believed that a gargantuan wolf known as Skull was in a relentless pursuit of the sun. When the day turned to twilight during an eclipse, it was thought that Skull had finally caught up with the sun, threatening to plunge their world into endless darkness and a chilling cold. In response to this celestial chase, the Vikings would rally together, creating a cacophony of loud noises. They would bang their shields, shout at the sky, and create as much noise as possible. All of this was aimed at frightening Skull, causing him to relinquish his grip on the sun and retreat. Such was the Vikings' dread of solar eclipses. They believed their world would fall into darkness and cold if Skull succeeded. Let's now journey to ancient China, where a celestial dragon was thought to threaten the sun during an eclipse. In those bygone days, the Chinese believed a formidable dragon named Tian roamed the celestial sphere. Tian was not just any dragon. He was perceived as a threat to the very existence of the sun. During a solar eclipse, the Chinese interpreted the darkening sky as Tian attempting to devour the sun. To battle this celestial beast, they would engage in a cacophony of sound. Imagine the scene. Drums would start to beat, cymbals would clash, and the air would be filled with loud, defiant noises. This was not merely an act of noise-making, it was a collective effort to scare the dragon Tian away, to save the sun from being consumed, to protect their world from eternal darkness. This ancient ritual demonstrates the lengths civilizations would go to protect the sun and their world. Moving forward in time, we reach the 20th century, where a solar eclipse confirmed Einstein's theory of general relativity. The year was 1919. The world was just starting to recover from the cataclysms of the Great War. Amidst this backdrop, the total solar eclipse served a pivotal role in the annals of science. Einstein's theory of general relativity, a groundbreaking concept that proposed gravity as warps and curves in the fabric of space-time, was still awaiting empirical validation. The eclipse provided this much-needed evidence. As the moon blotted out the sun, starlight passing close to the sun was observed to bend, aligning perfectly with Einstein's predictions. This cosmic spectacle, however, did more than just validate a scientific theory. It stirred a potent cocktail of emotions in the hearts of those who witnessed it. A sense of awe at the majesty of the cosmos was mixed with an undercurrent of fear, as the war-torn world grappled with a profound shift in understanding the nature of the universe. Amidst global turmoil, this eclipse forced a reconsideration of our understanding of the universe. Stranded in Jamaica in 1504, Christopher Columbus used a lunar eclipse to his advantage. Marooned on an unfamiliar land, Columbus found himself and his crew in a dire situation. They needed supplies, but the native people had grown weary of their presence and were reluctant to help. Columbus, however, held a trump card. He knew that a lunar eclipse was on the horizon. Leveraging this knowledge, he crafted a plan. Columbus met with the native leaders, telling them that his god was displeased with their refusal to provide supplies. He warned that as a sign of divine wrath, the moon would disappear from the sky. When the eclipse occurred as predicted, the native people were terrified. Believing Columbus's prophecy, they hurried to appease his god, supplying his crew with the needed provisions. While not a solar eclipse, this event still demonstrates the power of celestial events to evoke fear and control. In various African cultures, a solar eclipse was seen as a mythical beast devouring the sun. Imagine that for a moment, the life-giving orb in the sky, snatched away by a creature from legend. This terrifying thought gripped the hearts of many African communities during these celestial events. Much like the Chinese with Tian the dragon, or the Vikings with Skull the wolf, these African cultures envisaged a ferocious beast attempting to consume the sun. This was not a passive event or a mere spectacle to be observed. It was a call to action. The communities would rally together in a concerted effort to save their sun. They'd make loud noises, bang drums, and shout into the heavens, all in a desperate bid to scare away the sun-eating beast. Their collective voices would echo across the plains, a testament to the unity and resilience of their communities. Similar to other cultures, the fear of an eclipse led to communal efforts to protect the sun. In 18th century France, an eclipse was seen as an ill omen for Louis XIV, the Sun King. In the year 1705, the skies darkened in the middle of the day, causing a stir among the populace. Louis XIV, known for his grandeur and the splendor of his reign, was ironically nicknamed the Sun King. However, the eclipse was seen as a celestial sign of the Sun King's waning power. The people of France interpreted this event as a symbol of the imminent decline of his reign and the fading glory of his empire. It was as if the heavens themselves were predicting the downfall of the monarch. This belief was further reinforced by the ongoing political and military struggles that were plaguing France. This celestial event added a layer of supernatural disfavor to the already declining political and military fortunes of France. Throughout history, solar eclipses have often been interpreted as precursors to the apocalypse. This celestial phenomenon, where the moon passes between the earth and the sun, has been seen as a harbinger of doom, a sign of the world's impending end. Imagine a time when the sun, our source of light and life, suddenly darkens in the middle of the day. For our ancestors, this was an alarming event, a sign that the gods were displeased. It's no wonder that such occurrences stirred religious fervor and even led to the formation of doomsday cults. From ancient civilizations to the medieval era, and even in more recent times, societies have reacted to solar eclipses with fear and awe. There have been instances of mass hysteria, with people repenting their sins, praying fervently, and preparing for the end of times. These reactions, though rooted in fear, have shaped societies and cultures in profound ways. The fear of the apocalypse, often triggered by solar eclipses, has shaped societies and cultures in profound ways. In 1748, another French monarch, King Louis XV, faced an eclipse that was considered a bad omen. The king, already struggling with political unrest and a declining economy, took the eclipse as a sign of impending catastrophe. As the moon's shadow crept across the sun, the people of France watched in silent anticipation. This was not just a celestial event, but a symbol of their king's faltering rule. The fear of the end times, as we discussed earlier, was palpable. The eclipse seemed to darken not just the skies but also the hopes of the French people. But amidst the uncertainty, the king, a keen astronomer himself, chose to interpret the event as a call to action. It wasn't the end of times, he proclaimed, but a new beginning. Despite the fear and superstition surrounding the eclipse, the king used it as a catalyst for change, implementing much-needed reforms and restoring some stability to his reign. This goes to show how, throughout history, eclipses have not only been seen as omens of doom, but also as opportunities for change and transformation. Finally, we arrive at the fall of Constantinople in 1453, forewarned by a partial solar eclipse. This celestial event cast a shadow not just over the city, but also over the hearts of its inhabitants. The Byzantine Empire was on the brink of collapse, their capital city under threat from the mighty Ottoman Empire. The partial solar eclipse was seen by many as a celestial warning, a harbinger of the city's impending doom. It was as if the heavens themselves were signaling the end of an era, the fall of a city that had been a beacon of civilization for over 1,000 years. The eclipse added a chilling layer of supernatural dread to the already tense atmosphere, amplifying the fear, the anticipation, the sense of inevitable defeat. The city would indeed fall, succumbing to the relentless siege of the Ottomans. The looming threat of siege and conquest was given a supernatural dread by this celestial event, forever marking the fall of Constantinople. We've journeyed through time, from the ancient Mesopotamians to the fall of Constantinople, exploring the chilling tales of solar eclipses that have marked the course of human history. Thank you for joining us on this journey, for investing your time and interest in these terrifying tales of solar eclipses. It's always a pleasure to delve into the mysteries of the past with you. Remember, history is filled with countless such fascinating, foreboding, and sometimes downright frightening stories. And we are here to bring them to light, to take you on a journey through time, to uncover the mysteries that lie hidden in the sands of time. If you enjoyed this journey, and if you're hungry for more, then we have good news for you. This is just the beginning. We have an entire universe of history to explore, countless tales waiting to be told. So if you haven't yet, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Join us as we continue to delve into the fascinating, the mysterious, and the unknown. Become a part of our community, a fellow traveler on this journey through time. So until next time, keep your eyes on the skies, and remember, even in the darkest of times, there is always a story to be told. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join us for more videos at Learn More Every Second, the YouTube channel dedicated to quenching your thirst for knowledge with every tick of the clock. Journey with us through the endless corridors of information, from the marvels of ancient history to the cutting-edge breakthroughs of modern science. We're here to illuminate the fascinating, the curious, and the often overlooked stories that shape our world, ensuring that with every second, you're learning something new.